Thibault, so great to spend some time with you. Really eager to have this discussion because I know it's some topics that are very top of mind for people today. I often talk with a lot of leaders or a lot of sellers, but today talking with someone in the area of specialty of recruiting and how can we, whether we're looking for jobs or trying to stay relevant in this LinkedIn heavy world, how can we best stand out for recruitment searches? So first off, let's start out. How do recruiters work? Talk to me about that role and what does that day-to-day look like?
Good question, and indeed something that loads of people may wonder about the day-to-day of a recruiter. Obviously, there is some maybe misunderstanding from the market. That we may think that we look for we'll say for candidates, or we want to match candidates and job requirements that we may have internally to fill. The idea now is really the market is so tensed. There is so much tension in the market that nowadays it's very difficult to find out or to engage with candidates, and we recruiters tend to have a niche approach with people on the market. And I say people, and I don't say candidates. And this is something to maybe to underline as the role of recruiter or of sourcers is really to identify what we call nowadays passive candidates. And passive candidates, by definition, are people who are not looking for new opportunities, who are not, who do not even consider, I would say, a company as a potential new employer, as they are not looking for a job. So really, the difficulty for recruiters is really to identify precisely the candidates that we look for, and to do so, we do work mainly on LinkedIn, but there are other sourcing tools for recruiters, and to do so, we work on what we call the Boolean search. So it's very technical, sorry for that. But Boolean search are, we'll say, a search that we are going to perform on LinkedIn or in our internal application tracking system or on job board as other examples, and we put precise words to find out candidates that we want to engage with. Is it clear or not?
It is, and I think it's super helpful for people to understand that because I know personally I've looked for jobs in the past and I talked to a lot of job seekers, and a lot of us we look at a listing and we think hey, we're perfect for this role, but you may be up against 1,000 other candidates for the exact same role. And so for me, it always comes down to probability, right? So there are things that we can do to stand out. And so I'd love to dive into that a little bit. How can we control some of these things and stand out better? How do we climb to the top of a recruiter search results? But often I found as well that anything that we can do to de-risk that decision, the decisions that the recruiters make or that hiring managers make, we enhance our probability. It's often based very much on relationships. If a vice president calls to a director and says, hey, take a look at this candidate, they can vouch for them, then that de-risks the decision in a lot of ways, as opposed to just going out and applying to a lot of roles. I remember about a decade ago applying to over 1,000 jobs and getting very minimal success. And so I learned a lot through how I could better my results through LinkedIn, how I could better my connections and network through LinkedIn, and better my resume, stand out with keywords. But I'd love to get your thoughts. How can we optimize and show up and really climb to the top of the recruiter search?
Good call. Indeed, the market really changed a lot over the past decades, so with the S. So really, just to revert to what I mentioned earlier, the recruiter's objective is really to find one candidate for a specific job, so not the way around, and to differentiate from the other, for example, 700 million people on LinkedIn. how do you do that? My answer to that will be to I would say to promote yourself as if you were a product. So really consider LinkedIn as a marketplace. You are your own brand. And to market yourself, you have also to think like a marketer. So basically, I'm not sure if you know the acronym, so SEO, going for search engine optimization. So this is in marketing term. So you must adopt a keyword strategy. So keyword strategy is really in SEO, basically one page equal one keyword. So one LinkedIn profile equal one keyword. In regards to your current experience and background, as well as where you want to go, what will be the best keyword to describe you? So it's and again by keyword I don't mean really one precise keyword. So as an example, so let's give examples. So you want to be found as a strategic account manager in energy. In reality, your keyword will be 4 different words. So strategic account manager energy, and this keyword will generate, I would say, 90 million hits on Google in France. Let's go in the market that I know, and only 100 results in the job section on LinkedIn. So it's really the job section is a title that recruiters will use to find candidates. So where after spending a couple of days on job titles analysis, you'll discover that recruiters nowadays look for client executive instead. So instead of strategic account manager, they will look for client executive. So you have to understand really the logic behind how a recruiter works to be sure to be identified by recruiter for the right keywords, and then to adapt your personal profile or your resume with really the keywords that recruiters are looking for. So this is exactly. So this is the keyword you want to be found for. So then you have to do some beta testing, let's say on a fortnight basis, and adapt your keyword if necessary according to the hits that you are going to have on your LinkedIn profile.
That's super powerful, and I think that's what a lot of people may miss, is how important it is to apply that amount of attention to how am I showing up today? How am I being found? How do I want to be found? And having some intentionality to personal brand. You know, I talk a lot to different leaders and sellers about the value of personal brand, just even within your own organization, how you can promote yourself from a social perspective, how you can use it to create and unlock new executive relationships. But I love how you've made this so applicable within our career and within taking that next step in our career, because these are ways that we can obviously show up better and market ourselves as a product. I think that's super important. So totally understand the value of SEO and the importance of SEO. So how would you say that we can really optimize our personal brand to attract recruiters' attention?
Okay, so I'm not going to maybe to go through the whole exercise of how to design your LinkedIn profile or how to make it attractive for recruiters, as I know that you interviewed recently Jeff Winter, and I would say the replay or the release the videos I watched was exactly what I may say, so I'm not going to repeat the information, but basically you have to fill your profile with loads of keywords. So in your summary, in your experiences, in both the title and the description, as well in your skills section. So if you know that in SEO, keywords, order, and location in the LinkedIn profile have an importance. So as an example, if you write 5 lines about your company in your experiences and then start introducing yourself, outcome is lower SEO on your keyword. So this is also something very important to have in mind. So tip 1 is really to add as many keywords and relevant information about you in the first paragraph of your summary. And tip 2 will be, and this one is really a pro league level, so you can even tailor your LinkedIn profile URL. So you can look at my LinkedIn URL and you see my first name, Thibault, last name, and then talent sourcer in the URL. So and this is really a prototype for SEO, but that's a good one. I found out years ago. So the answer to how do you attract recruiters' attention? The only answer I can provide is personal branding. So same exercise as for the SEO. What do you want to be known for? Then you have to talk, to write, to comment about it, and most of all, to keep it authentic. So if you are talking about things you are confident about, it will become much more easier for you to create content. So find something which is your thing, really yours. As an example, mine is talent sourcing. Other example, so what's yours, Carson?
It's a great question. I'm still trying to figure that out sometimes. I suppose, probably social and digital selling and, talking about leadership culture and personal brand. Those are all things that I'm super passionate about. You actually highlighted a previous discussion that I did with a top influencer at Microsoft, Jeff Winter, and that was one of the key conversation points was, how do we figure out what it is that we want to be known for? And I'm a big believer that, look, you're not always going to be doing the job that on paper you love every single thing about it, but you can find ways to infuse your passions and your strengths into that job. I've done that here at Microsoft. I've been super, super fortunate to do that. And it's taken me beyond what my wildest dreams were about what I could achieve and do here. I get to meet people all over the world here at Microsoft and learn daily. And I think that's the key element. And Thibault, I think you hit on a lot of really key components. I'm a big believer that you've got to look at the playing field. You've got to understand, all of the parameters. So I think you've really helped us understand, first off, let's focus on our keywords. Let's make sure that our keywords are centered around what we are proficient at, what we want to be known for. And then let's make sure we select a variety of ways by which to do that. I try not to discriminate against any potential medium. If video or blogging or, to your point, commenting, liking, going out and just engaging in content, making it conversational. These are the types of things that create relationships and get you noticed. And I think that's what people, if they walk away from this today learning anything, that's it. Be very intentional about your brand, what you want to be known for, and how you put that out there, and put it out there consistently. You don't just go out and create a few keywords and make a couple of comments or posts for a day or two. It's a consistent body of work over time. And I can promise you that if you do that, it can lead to wonderful things. I never would have thought a decade ago when I started doing some of the things that we've talked about, that I would have over 300,000 followers on social media. I never would have thought that I'd have such a global reach at Microsoft and in sales in general. But it can be achieved. I'm just a small town guy from the Midwest United States, right? So there's really literally no reason why I should be sitting here talking to you now. But here we are. And I think these are key learnings. So, I'd love to hear if you were guiding anybody watching this today to take, maybe a couple of steps to make a change today to their process or their branding, what would you recommend that they do? What could they take action on right now?
Okay. I'm not going to go through the whole revamping of a LinkedIn profile, but once you are confident about your brand, so who you are on LinkedIn, so you've done everything that we mentioned earlier. The easiest way to start is really to start commenting. So I'm not saying that. I will say you go full on articles or posts or etc. So you have to start easy. So start commenting on people's stuff on LinkedIn. It's really could be as simple as that. See what people are posting about. Start being involved in discussion that other people have started on their own. But remember, really, comments are content too. So the key is not to comment for the sake of it, but is really think about how I'm going to add value to other people conversation. So if you start doing this, it's already I would say a great beginning. So build up your confidence by adding value to other people conversation, and then when you feel people are interested by what you have to say, so your keyword or your key thing, as we mentioned earlier, start posting on yourself. So it's really. And you can even, now on LinkedIn, you can even transform one of your comments, so a comment which generated loads of replies, and share that as a content yourself. So it's really easy step, and it's a nice one, and from this you just go on and go on. It doesn't matter if you post, for example, if your post gets 5 reactions or a dozen or hundreds of reactions. What's important is that people you are trying to reach, so your audience, see your face more frequently. But really see your face, because on LinkedIn, when you post, there is your LinkedIn pop-up. So if you are a seller, if people see your face more frequently, it will be easier for you to transform this when you try to reach out on the phone or via email, because when you reach out via email, people are going to check out on LinkedIn who you are and what do you sell. So do that, so more frequently. So for example, you can post every single day for a period of time until they decide they want to be your follower or be in your audience or even ask you as a connection. And for a seller, I would say I would conclude as job is done, as if the people that you are trying to reach, so your audience, are reacting to your content, that's it. Now it's your journey as a personal brander that may start.
I love that. I love that. Well, you've heard it straight from the recruiter's mouth. This is great stuff. And I'd say, just to kind of summarize, I make a lot of parallels between like the job search and your career to sales and to life in general. I think that there's a lot of parallels. I spend a lot of time at the beginning of the year putting the foundation in place. I spend hours upon hours constructing playbooks and grids and things of that nature to put the foundation in for success, to create tools that my team and I are going to use every day all year. And I think it's very similar with career. Put your best foot forward. Make sure that you've set the foundation in place, that your LinkedIn truly exemplifies and embodies what you want to be known for and what you want to do. There's so many ways to do that. So my second point would be stand out. If you go to LinkedIn today and you do it on your mobile app, you can actually record an introduction video for when people go to your page and look at your profile picture. You can have an introduction video. What better opportunity to speak who you are at that moment? Years ago, when I was looking for work, I started leveraging a video resume that I made as a featured post on my LinkedIn profile. So anybody coming, a recruiter coming, could see that and could engage that. It was a very passive and easy way for me to reach folks, and it got thousands of hits. And so to be able to create something like that, it was a differentiator, but it allowed people to do some investigation of me. And again, de-risk that decision, because now they know a little bit more of who I am. They know how I present myself and what I'm all about. And lastly, Thibault, I think you said this really well, engage. You've got to make sure once you've got that foundation in place that you find different ways to engage people, start conversations, make provocative posts, engage with the people that you want to be liaising with and that you want to be working with. Because if you do that and you can start conversations, guess what? You're going to get to and you're going to stay top of mind because people will continue to see your name pop up. And just like marketing statistics dictate, usually if you see a name pop up 8 times, it prompts you to take action. You are your brand. You're marketing yourself. And the more you show up and the more you're in the conversation, the better probability you'll get the interview or ultimately the role.
Exactly. Well summarized.
Yeah, good stuff. Anything else that you want to hit on before we sign off today? This was great.
No, nothing in mind, but we can have another session on another topic, making parallels between recruiting, marketing, and sales. There is loads of parallels, so plenty. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Well, thank you so much. Great to spend some time with you today. And I have no doubt that our viewers today walked away with some key nuggets that they can implement right away. So thanks so much for being on.
Perfect. Thank you.